Just as you walked away, Karen, there it is. I have to change the view, guys, but we'll get this going. There, now I can see you guys all. We'll start with our feet on the mat. And, okay, I'll come back in just a moment. We're going to lift up. So stay there. You just keep going up and down. Hi, Pam. Keep going. I'm going to lift our mats up. Hi, Michelle. Betty. Okay, up and down. Lift up your heels and down. Inhale and down. And we'll just talk about it for a little bit. You're letting the arms go up, help you get a fuller breath. You can notice how your hands can be flexible and graceful. So it's like you're adding some movement through your fingers. Your knees are soft. When you go up, each of the toes has some weight. You're not letting the ankles kick out to the side. You're keeping the toes equally weighted for the most part. If anything, you might feel a little more pressure in the one and the two. And up. And up. And one more. And it's kind of like just a nice warm up. Now just to mix it up, see if you can take your feet like this. It's a first position. Go up. Notice how that changes it a little bit with the heels. Lifting. There's this external rotation you can feel in your hips. It should feel good and like a stabilization contraction and not a grip. Oops, sorry, keep going even though I didn't give it enough juice. Knees soft. Inhale. And even just by linking breath with movement, even if it's a activity, a movement like we're doing, exercise, you still tap into that parasympathetic system. It's like your mind is so focused on your internal, it's letting go of the external world, that it's still a great way for parasympathetic response. One more. Very good. And then we can go out just a little bit into an abduction. Now when you're doing this, I want you to notice one leg is basically straight ahead if it can, okay? If it needs to go a little turned out, that's okay. This hip is actively lifting you. These abs are keeping your ribs just tucked ever so much, ever so little, so that you don't get a low back curve more than your usual, your neutral. And 8. Now what's happening is you're figuring out balance in a different plane than we usually walk in. 9. And now we're going to take that foot down. You'll probably have the toes forward. Even the lifted leg, the toes are forward. 1. And one leg might be harder than the other. 2. Slowly getting used to it. 3. 4. 5, good. You see how you might get a little bigger as you get used to it. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice. Now with a very small turnout, lift up and you can point and flex. So you inhale and exhale. I had to do that one faster because I was losing my balance. So point and flex. Point and flex. Point. This leg becomes your balance leg. 7. And you're working that ankle. 8. You're working your stabilizers in this leg. Inhale, exhale. One more. Think graceful. Now we shift our weight up and keep going. I have a wrinkle in my mat. 2, 3. This knee is long but soft. 4. Let's add the point and the flex. 5, 6. The arms go up with the inhale. 7. Your head is tall. 8, 9, and 10. That was great. Now to the rear, what you can do is shift your weight forward. Now these toes are going to touch the floor. You're going to try to balance. Your hands might just be beside you, or if you want to interlace them at your lower back, you can do that. You're gonna go up 1 and then tap your toes, and up 2 and up 3. Now I need to turn and look at you, but you can stay where you are. 4, I just want to see. 5, yep. 6, good. An option is to hold your hands, you don't have to. 7, good, that's great. 8, you're working that back plane balance. 9, now lower that foot. I'm just turning so I can see you or you can see me. Now go back, point. 2, shoulders and chest are open. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Relax for a moment. So welcome the new year with some balance, right? Lift and spread your toes 5 times at least. Now your little foot can come up. It could be, let's say, modified or on the calf. You could have it on the inner thigh. Now you could take your hands to your heart, or if you want to go up. If you want to take a shoulder chest stretch, you can. And I'm going to do a really slow count to 20. Good, hip is in line. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's okay. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then lower that foot down, and this is just samasthiti, balancing your mind, body, breath. Try the other side. Your foot comes up. It could go as high or as low as you want. Now you could do hands here, you could do hands up, or you could take the other side, and it's a slow 20 count. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, and then lower that down. That was really good. How about we do a small circle set? Now, one option is you could put your arms up like you're hugging a tree, or if you want to move your arms with your leg, you can. So you go up. I'll show small, but just do as big as you want. You could go bigger. Let me go ahead and show the other option. You could just hold the arms. Now, I like to add on a pointing and a flexing as the foot passes through. You can flex, and that way you have room. Now what we do is go reverse, so go backwards, 2. You could be using your arms. I'm just showing different ways. Yeah, there's no wrong way. You just sort of gauge, how do you feel today? Nice, Pam. 8. I like to work the ankle though, because it is going to help us with balance and flexibility and nerves. So now that foot's down when you're done. Now I'll just show this at first, but I'll show different ways. So you're going to point and flex the foot that's in the air. And I'm going to talk for a minute. This knee is soft or long, long and soft. It's okay if your body moves a little. You just don't want to get more lordotic, so you might even think a little bit tone here. Point and flex. But the neck is soft, even if you have to sort of shake it out. Now the other way, I'll show this with arms this time. Inhale. 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8, 9. Oops, I had to touch, that's okay. And 10. Hands to the heart, really good. And you can go, let me show you from the side. You can go a little bit wide like you're sitting in a chair. Hold on. Not too wide, shoulder width. But the fact I'm showing you side is that the booty goes so far back. Keep going. I want you to see. Keep going. Your booty is almost like someone's got a chair behind you and you're trying to catch that chair, but then they keep trying to pull it away from you. You notice the arms I'm putting in front because it counteracts the weight. That's how far back your tush should be. And if you look down, you could lighten your toes. A piece of paper could be sliding underneath them. Your heels are really heavy. And just monitor your neck. It may be that you change your gaze to look down so you don't have a tense neck. When you stand up, the knees are long but soft. Now let's take an inhale and an exhale. See how I'm adding the arms? 3, and I'm doing it slower and controlled, and you feel more muscle. 2. Okay, now we go wider. So it could be that you're a wider than your shoulder width, right? Toes are out now this time a little bit more. Now, sit in your heels. I'm going to show a couple things, so just keep going. One could be that your arms come up. They could go higher if that's okay, if you're not in your neck. Your knees, if you check out your knees, they're tracking with your second toe. I was going to do 10, but let's do 15. So it's an inhale. For an option, you could do 5 more if you've had enough, just rest. 4, but really pay attention. Am I doing both feet the same? Are both heels heavy? And the heart rate will go up a little bit because these are big muscles. And inhale. Now pause. Can you, and I have to walk in a little on this, can you add on a heel lift? Did you see that? So heels are up. So the heels are up. See if you can you add on a heel raise the whole time with this? You see I have to go slower, and you may not go as far low because you're balancing, but you are going to get some calf tone here. You are trying to get all the weight on each toe equally. Your knees are in line with your second toe. You got neck is soft. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good, and then come back. Now this, take a little stretch. So let your right foot over, take your left hand down and over, and just let this be feeling so good. You notice I'm rotating. This is at your will, at your intuition. You don't have to rotate, or you could. And find some yummy place. 5. This should feel so good if you did any forward activities over the last few days. 3, 2, and just give it another one. Inhale. So good. And then we're going to switch it up. I'm going to take this down. Now the other foot's down. So I'm crossing. One hand's down. One arm goes up and over. And if you want a little rotation, you can. And 5, 4, 3, 2. We'll take another inhale. Stay longer if you need to, Michelle. I know you had to leave the room for a minute. Yeah. And then exhale and come back out. Nice job. So let's take one quad stretch before we go down. Lift and spread your toes 5 times. And I'm doing this neurological finger 1, 2 so that you know, they're tied. It might help you with 1. Now right arm up. You can hold on to your foot and let your heel get towards your booty. Whoops, keep going. Drop your ribs a little. 10, 9, keep going. I was going to show you from the side and I didn't move yet. 8, 7. Knee is soft on the support leg. 6. Feel that shoulder open. 5. 4. Keep going. 3. 2. And on the 1, lower that heel down. Hands to the heart, Samasthiti. This hand goes up and behind. Hold on to that foot. So I'll turn side first. Oh wait, keep going. Good, Karen. Big breath down in the diaphragm. Good, Karen. That looks good. Good, Betty. You're tall. This hip is in the midline. Now, when you're ready, lower that little foot. Take your feet kind of like a V. It's called first position. You can lift and spread your toes. Now, this leg is going to cross the midline. So it's almost like your pinky toe touches the floor. It doesn't have to. If you want to make it harder, don't touch. And then you stay tall. 6, inner thigh. If you're not sure, touch your muscle. That's working. Good. Now lower that little foot, inner thigh. So this foot, it's like your pinky toe is your touch. Now if you want, you can add on arms. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. So I'm having an urge that we do either this stretch or this stretch. If you're doing this one, palms go up. And we're going to do one little balance pose that's double. Let me show you from the side. Right foot back, left foot. Sorry, right foot forward, left foot back. Pyramid, inhale, exhale, hinge. Now let's say your hamstrings are tight today. That's fine. You might just be a couple inches into it. It doesn't matter because I really just want you to make sure your belly of your muscle. I'm going to turn to see you, but you can stay where you are. 10. Good, Pam. I was going to say something about the head correction and you did. 9. I'm more looking at you, but you're fine where you are. You're probably looking at your toes. 7. 6. You're balancing too. 5. 4. 3. 2. Now on the 1, you can slowly come up until you're even over your hand. So it's like you're doing a back bend. Lift up both heels if you want to add on. Still balancing. 5, 4, and you can lengthen your front knee a little bit, Rick. 2. Yeah, that looks good. Now lower with control. Take both feet together. Take your other hand back. Oh, sorry, your other foot back. Inhale. Exhale, hinge. Even if it's a little bit, you'll feel it. Now soften both knees wherever you are, and maybe you go more. Imagine you're on railroad tracks, not a tightrope. And 10. And 9. And 8. Good. I'm looking at you, but you're probably looking at your toes or your shin. And 7. And 6. And 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. Notice how you feel in that hamstring. Now, as you're ready, you just slowly push up and even back. So it's kind of like you're doing a back bend over your hands or your upper back. Good. Or your finger interlace. Now lift 1 or 2 heels. Balance. Feel strong in your ankles. Strong knees. And you might be able to lengthen your back knee, Rick. Let's see. 5. Yeah, it's a lot going on. 4. Knee is soft but long. 3. Good. Heels are up. Balancing. 2. Yep. Now lower with control your heels and bring your hands to the heart. Good job. I'm going to move the camera, and also this is a chance if you want to get some water to get some water. So I'll move the camera down a little, and we'll start with a little seated. See if that's gonna. Okay, so water if you need. I'm grabbing it. Actually, I'm going to grab it a little closer. So it's here, and you might have your band nearby because we'll end up doing some stretches with this band. But for now, let me see. Can you see me? Yeah. Okay, you're going to use your abs to start doing what I call partial roll-ups and downs. And it's partial because you're not having to commit more than you can come back up. So if you feel like your legs start kicking, then you know that's your place to come up. That's funny, Karen. I have to adjust my pants when I do this one too. It's like I want everything smoothed out so I'm not rolling over any wrinkles. You want to be as smooth as you can. Now, you notice if you go lower, you might take your legs out longer. And there's this little squeeze between your knees, like you have a little postage stamp there. Mm-hmm. It's doggies are like, it's petting time, right, Mom? Okay, now look how we're just gonna add on a little right and left. So it's imagine that you're in some water and you're gonna just drip your fingers in the water at the lake. I'm gonna move so I'm not from the wall, but drip. You're rotating a little bit. It's a graceful arm. 4. Yeah, this is at your own pace too. So I'm just going to call out 3. What could be a cadence? But if you're going lower or higher, it might be different. 2. Breathing. Now rest. We are going to put both feet in a bent. So right now you see the knees are bent. Yeah, good, Pam. Fingertips are behind. Now see if you can lift up and your hips are up. 10. 9. There you go. Oh wait, 8. Yeah. 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now on the 1, come down. And you can do this next one with a longer leg position if you'd like. Or you could do it with the bent knee like we just did. So I may show both, but go up. Yeah, remember if it's too hard, bend your knees. 9, 8, good. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower. Now, if you need to make yourself comfortable, like your clothing, for example, get your flesh out from there. Inhale, lift up like someone's pulling your arms. Now exhale, hinge, 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 and then maybe your feet or your hands go to your feet. Maybe they just go to your thighs. You're not going to force it. In fact, if you need a pillow, it's okay. Although you guys look good right now. Everybody looks good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You might be able to go a little deeper for the next 5. And then on the 1, come up. Now with this inhale, lift up one arm. You see how I'm just spiraling it, and let your fingertips point away. Soften the elbow. Yes, this arm now, up, up and away. Now we kind of have to go back and revisit. Are both elbows soft? Can you lift your heart? Can you feel a shoulder and a chest stretch? So this is going to be a hold. 5, 4. Actually, let me slow down that count. 'You got it. Inhale. That looks really good. And then exhale and let that go. Now what you might do is just sort of roll out your shoulders. You can take your feet a little more like a V. And again, if you want to move your flesh, kind of lift it and lower. Yeah, lift it out of the way. Adjust your pants. Now we're going to take an inhale and then exhale. It's okay if you put your hands on your thighs. Maybe you put them on your shins. Maybe you put them on the floor. I just want you to find out what is supportive of you. As you go down, notice your chin is going to have to tuck a little to be in line with the rest of your back, and it's not really congested. Yeah, so just shake it out. I like a little movement to shake it out. Karen, that looks good. But everybody looks good. Yeah, everybody looks good. And relax and hold. That looks really good. 5, 4, 3, 2, notice how that feels. Gently come back up. And then if you need to sit, grab a sip. We're going to do a little side plank. So you'll be facing me on one elbow with your side plank. I like to double up a mat. So if you want to double up, you can. You can also bend the knee down or the hip down. But whenever you're ready, yeah, Rick, we're going to go upside. Okay, so when you're ready, hold. Does that feel okay? Here we go. I like it. I see the hips are lifted, guys. I see your elbows underneath your shoulders. I see your head's against this imaginary wall. Your shoulders are against this imaginary wall. And hold for 3. And hold for 2. And hold for 1. Now, that looked really good. Shall we take the side plank the other way? If you want to double up your mat here because of the elbow sensitivity, you can. Your elbow is under your shoulder. I'd say that's a more important cue than anything. The bottom hip lifted enough is another important cue. This tone right here is pretty important, so you're not lordotic or lower back sway, especially because the arm's up. And hold. 5. Or feels good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. I really like that. So we're going to go over to the other side. And you know what? I'm just going to keep some doubled up mats. All right, so what we're going to do is spiral the arm for 5 each direction. If you get tired, come down and rest. But otherwise, start with your plank and hold, because that's the part that's static. Now, you can make this as much as you want or as little as you want. But I say that because I don't want there to be any pain. And make it like putting on lotion on the joint, just a big synovial fluid. All right, go the other way, or you're greasing a joint. 1, and your hips are up, and 2. Whoops, I need to get back away. 3. It's a nice stretch. 4 for that shoulder, but the bottom of your body is working. Now we're going to lower that hip, and we're going to take it to the other side. You've got this little shoulder stretch you're going to add. The bottom half is a plank, so 2 things. Come up. Now once you're up, if you can add on, let's say 5 each way, just like we did the other side, with the caveat being if you need to rest, you do what you need so that you don't lose form. That bottom arm is more important to preserve than anything else. 5. It needs to be down the back and strong. 4. Doesn't that feel so good? And then let's go to the other side. Now we're going to do the up and over, which to me feels like a stretch. So when you reach your arm over, really feel the stretch part. Hand to your thigh. I'm going to move down some in the view. This is up and over, 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 over. You might even touch the floor. Inhale, touch the hand to the thigh, up and over. Inhale. And exhale. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now what you'll do is go to the other side. This elbow is underneath, and the idea is that you feel a stretch with the work. So think about the stretch of the work, the best you can. This hand's down here. Now you go up and you go over. Your hip drops, but you don't really rest on the floor. 3, 4, very good. Feel how strong you are. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I like it. Okay, so we're getting those sides strong, aren't we? Let's do a thread the needle variation on the side plank. So take this elbow, take your legs along, or of course if you want to modify, you're on your hip or your knee. Those are shorter levers. Take this arm up, get ready, inhale, exhale, 1. Now you're going to rotate and let your gaze follow your hand. I'm mostly looking at you, so don't worry that I'm not rotating my head. You can though, kind of like you're watching your hand. I just want to see if there's anything I need to cue in your form. 6, your bottom hip is up. 7, that looks really good. 8, nice. 9, it's like you're wringing out a wash rag with that upper body. Okay, I saw good things. So let's do the other side. This hip's down. Or sorry, this arm's down. Arm up, inhale, here we go. Okay, so it's an exhale. Now again, you can look at your hand as a little way to let your head just go along for the ride, because I don't want the neck to be leading it. It's the upper back. Also, the pelvis is pretty square to me, or to your camera, to your laptop. So it's stable, not dropping with gravity, because gravity's pulling. 9. And how did that feel? Did that feel so good? Can we do a sip and a bound angle? A sip and a bound angle. And this is a really fun one, I think, to experiment with different angles. So maybe in close sometime, in wide sometime. Inhale. Exhale, hinge. Relaxing. This is also a really good one, I think, to open up the big toe. So if you can reach it, open up your big toe. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really good. Before we go down, I did want to do a side stretch. So you know how we do our legs wide like this? One hand can go across. You see how that's next? One arm goes up and over. And you see how I'm kind of easing us back into the new year, right? Stretching and strengthening, but stretching sure feels good too. So just any kind of rotation. And it's like your breath has a way to add a second stretch. That looks really good, everybody. Think about how far our flexibility's gotten this year. Now, when you're ready, it's almost like you're coming over a fence. You have this sense of length in between the vertebra. The hand goes across. With your inhale, you lift up. I think of painting a rainbow or lifting my spine up over a fence. And now this hand is heading. I really like that. Now, if you need a little rotation, help yourself. Great. Nice. Good. Mm-hmm. 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 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And what we're going to do is come up, and then just one more time, we'll take a 10 count, come down. Just enjoy and let it be. See if you can give yourself a challenge of staying connected to your breath for the 10. Inhale, stay connected, and exhale. Inhale, this is the second breath here. Exhale, just let your mind stay here if you can. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Breathing, and exhale. 7, 8, 9. And if you need to stay more, please help yourself. Otherwise, you'll come back up. And eventually we're going to head towards a plank. I'm going to offer a sip of water if you need it. Remember, we're trying to do about 6 to 8 ounces before the class is over. I think 8's a good goal, but 6 is definitely acceptable. So forearms are here, depending on how you sweat. So you can go into dolphin. So dolphin's where your booty's up. And then from dolphin, go into plank. And then just do 5 of these little cycles, dolphin, plank. And you're just going at your own pace, but you notice your calf stretches. You're feeling your abs. And let's just say 2 more, and that if you're not sure where you are, then just be with my count. Now hold plank for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now rest your pelvis, and you're going to take your, I need to move so I can see a little better. You're going to take your elbows or your hands on the floor. So if you're doing elbows, this is Sphinx. You kind of lift your belly up, and it lengthens your low back. And chin tuck, Karen, just a millimeter down, look down. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now you could stay, but if you want to add on, a nice, Pam, I'm glad you already did it. Lift up with your hands pressing. No pressure, you just do you. Now breathe, upper back. Elbows are pointed down. Chin tuck a little. Yeah, right, that's it. Lower, we're going to do it 2 more times. So inhale, either come up with your elbows, Sphinx, or your hands, and your cut, which is swan, 10. Or you could do a combination. 9, good Karen. And 8, 7, 6. Now on the one lower down, we said we do 3. Take a breather, inhale, pull your belly up like there's ice underneath it. Come into Sphinx. Now press your hands up, shoulder blades down, and breathe. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Lower. Now the hands are going to go to the back, so it could be that you interlace them or just rest them beside your hips. Now up with your legs, lift up your back and lift up your arms if you can. 10. Switch your hands. We're going to go up. Inhale. 10. Now, if you want to add on, just winch your weight for a moment. Let your legs go long, and then lift up your right leg all by itself. And then lift your left leg up all by itself. It's like you're a grasshopper or you're a locust. Your hands, I'm looking at you for form, but your hands could be underneath your head to rest, like it's a pillow, like a pillow's underneath you. And you're going to try to lift that leg up a little higher now that it's warmed up. Sometimes it goes higher than we initially think it can. Lift, lift. And I'll tell you the goals while we're here. Your hips stay level. You have that little piece of ice helping you lift up. Now, if you think you would like to add on, take your arms kind of like a Y and lift up your right arm and your left leg, and then your left arm and your right leg, and your right arm and your left leg, and your left arm and your right leg. Inhale, right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Now, this is one more possibility that is called swimming, and it's more the advanced swimming where you lift all the limbs and you continue. So if you would like to do that, add that on. Upper back lifts. 10, 9, 8, 7. Neck is soft. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, if you want to rest in a little child's pose, you can. You can rest. If you also, I'm going to grab a sip of water, so if you also need a sip of water, this is a good chance. 5, 2, and 1. And then you're going to lie on your back eventually. We're going to put our head, I'm using a pillow just so I can see a little easier. I've noticed that's easier sometimes. Okay, so take yourself up, right leg. Okay, this leg that's in the air is going to be our circle. And you remember how we did these on the standing? It may be that you have a bigger range of motion here. Your goal is that your ribs are down. And what that might mean is that you can't take your leg as low because the ribs down is more important. And if you're having trouble with that, let's say your back's been tight over the holidays, you can use a pillow or kind of ramp up your head. Now inhale, you feel your hands on your abs, will let you know if your abs are working. Go the other way. 10, 9, 4, 3, look at how good, 2. Take your hands underneath that thigh. Now you can point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. Now add rolls with your ankle. Roll the other way, let's say 5 each. And then let's add something for the feet. It's called stretch. Stretch out the toes. And then crunch, 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 crunch. Stretch the toes. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Spread them out, spread them out, spread them out. Crunch, 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 crunch. Hold on to a pencil. Spread them out and crunch. Now we're going to take that leg down, the one that was just working. Lift up your other leg. One leg pours to the ground, and if you take an inhale, you can start that circle. And you circle, exhale with your ribs down. So remember the cues we were talking about that are important. Breathing continuously, ribs down, even if that means you don't lower your leg as much. If you have any clicking, decrease the range of motion. Now we're going to go the other way. Now, you might be on 10 right here, so you can take your hand behind that thigh, hands, and you can point and flex. It kind of feels natural here to do that, doesn't it? You can add your circles. And you can add your circles. And you can spread and crunch. Spread and crunch. Spread and crunch. Spread them out, crunch, spread, and crunch. Both legs go up, spread out the toes for just a moment. Now hands beside your pelvis like a frame. Keep your legs glued as you draw a circle. Now inhale at 12 o'clock and go the other way. Inhale and exhale. Look, that's wonderful. And out. And around, and out, and around, and exhale. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you can, just for a moment, hug your legs in any way that's comfortable. Let's say happy baby, that's fun. Any or your thighs in. I like to open up the big toe here, and maybe even you can open up the pinky toe. 5, 4. Now the little feet are down on the ground, and imagine you have 4 tires of a car, and you keep those 4 tires of the car on your foot. Now you curl up. Now your lower back, it might need to warm up. So if you, or to have this attention. So sometimes it gets better. So keep trying to pull the pubic bone up. Pull the pubic bone up. And pull the pubic bone up. Now your hamstrings are working and your glutes are working. You're going to feel that the knees are over the heels. Your exhale presses you up and your inhale lowers you. Now stay up, and we'll take a right leg in the air. Now this is a way to get single leg strength. So it's too hard, don't do it, but otherwise do 10 presses, 9, 8. And Michelle, I've got my hands on my abs. Sometimes I do that to make sure I don't get lordotic. So there's almost like a 5% tone I have at my ribs so that I don't just push with my back. So you notice I'll use my hands as a way to help me cue my body, right foot down. So if that's works for you, You can do any cue, like find out what makes you fire. So I'm sorry, we're on the third one. I was talking with cues, but this is the single leg. I'm on 5, I'm on 6, but just kind of make sure you do 10, 7, next off 8, 9. Now that foot comes down, lower yourself down. How about a happy baby and a little wider with the happy baby, almost like a sumo wrestler. 10. Oh, good. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ankle to thigh. Reach your hands through the window. Now this is going to feel like a hip opener, a figure 4 stretch. If you would like to rock, I see some you're doing that already. That's good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. While you're here, you know how the ankle rolls are so easy here. You can add that in. There's some popping and creaking. And just lubricating, maybe even spreading, pointing and flexing. Allow us to have the flexible ankles. And now we're going to take the other side. So it's like this figure 4. Your hands can reach through, interlace if they will. You might even find that rocking helps you. Your neck is soft. And 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. And it's also a low back stretch. Now, if you'd like to add on your ankles, this is a really nice, easy place because they're totally free. You're still, of course, trying to get a little hip opener. But yeah, you might point, flex, or spread and open. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, I'll just add a little bit more movement. 3, maybe a rock. You're good, Michelle. Just doing a sway. 2. Yeah, oh, that's nice, Rick. That little extra always gets me too. And I promised we would do a little wrap. So if you have your band handy, you could put this around your foot or your arch and then just enjoy. I'm going to let you sort of just do what you need. So here's one way is hamstring up. Maybe you want to do a little across the midline, maybe a little out. Maybe a little of all. Mm-hmm. You notice how it helps that left psoas too, right? It's letting that one go. You could change it up. Good, Pam, that's nice. Okay, the other foot has that little wrap. The other leg has that psoas. Now, I like to scan the shoulders here because sometimes they get recruited. Let it go. I'm basically counting to 30, so just find what angles you need. That's right, Pam, outer thigh. I'm sorry, outer hamstring, outer lateral hamstring. Yep, you can move it any way you want to. I just wanted you to have fun. What more fun is there than hamstring stretching? Letting go, so everything's just exhaling out of you. Now, that's good. Whenever you're ready, just take a moment to enjoy the floor and to enjoy the fact that you don't have to do anything, that no one expects anything of you. You don't have to answer any problems. You don't have to figure out any solutions. Just for a moment, tap into that part of us that's deeper than our identifiers, deeper than our ego. That part of us that's connected to, you could say, divine consciousness, or just that power that creates worlds. So just take a moment to let the breath come in through the nose. Be the breath. Exhale out any tension, nothing to do, nothing to figure out right now. And take your time to notice how you feel. To let yourself slowly come back into a seated position. To let yourself be in your hands to your heart. We're going to set an intention that you want to be able to recognize when you start coming out of calibration or balance, and that you give yourself permission to take a few breaths during your day to come back into balance when you need to. And whenever you're ready, let your eyes come back into the room with much care. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, so much.